Well, looks like I'm done with this heap of trash. Yes! Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jose. I am the 8th Paladin, and... Wait, who the hell is that?
I'm coming for you!
Oh, God! Holy shit. That was crazy and unexpected. Wait, where was I? Oh yeah. Hey guys, welcome all to a brand new video. Now this is something I want to talk about for this beautiful month we call October, and celebrate something with you guys for the Halloween, because yeah, I'm so early to the Halloween party. But I digress. Now we all know that there are different video game genres like platformers, RPGs, shooting games, even though I suck at them. And for this month, horror. Now horror games are just what they are. They scare the shit out of people. See, horror games give viewers what they want to see that can be considered scary. It's something that we humans feel as to show what gives them a reason for people to be scared but still press on. Survival horror, anyone?
God fucking Jesus Christ!
So let's just say there are some guys that aren't into horror and decide to play a game that looks normal, but in some cases, game developers tend to add elements in the game that feel out of place of the respected game. Or maybe it's just me. Never mind, I was wrong! So there's a lot of video games that have a small amount of horror elements. Super Mario Galaxy with the Hell Valley Sky Trees, Pokemon Black and White with the Haunted Mansion, Zelda 64 with the boss that literally bites your ass! The list goes on. There are so many video games that have horror elements to choose from, but for me personally, there is one franchise in my opinion that looks cool but has some horror elements that feel welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to... Metroid, a badass video game series created by the folks at Nintendo, shooting enemies, exploring areas, and a female protagonist with a hot jumpsuit and succulent titties. Now, to give you guys a little history lesson, here's some info. See, Metroid was produced by Gunpei Yokoi, and it was directed by Satoru Okada and Maso Yamamoto. It was then later developed by Nintendo R&D 1. Nintendo, retards and dickweeds. Okay, but in all seriousness, Nintendo Research and Development 1 made the game on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and with that came many NES games like Mega Man, Kid Icarus, the Spaghetti Jumpman, and many more on the SNES library. You see, Metroid is a 2D action adventure game where you explore the levels and shoot down enemies, making a goddamn tirade. Metroid was also influenced and made several references to the movie Alien as shown in many games, like the boss Ridley named after the movie's director, Ridley Scott.
Holy shit.
Not only that, but this game franchise, along with Castlevania, also introduced the Metroidvania genre in gaming to explore different environments in one world. And not to mention, it was also the very first game where it was revealed that Samus is actually
That's a woman?
So yeah, as you guys can already tell, this was revolutionary at the time. Since its first game, Metroid has become a popular series amongst Nintendo's IP. Metroid, Super Metroid, Metroid Prime, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, Metroid Prime 2 Corruption, Metroid Porn. It has been known in Nintendo's history that this series, along with the other golden stars here and there, are one of the best that Nintendo has ever given to the public, with some exceptions. Now I have heard about Metroid in the past, and I've played some of its games. You wanna know how many games I played? I only played one.
What?
Yeah, I didn't grow up with Metroid, sadly. My focus has always been with school and Sonic. I know I'm a loser. However, after witnessing some cutscenes, gameplay, and some story elements of the games on YouTube, some, not all, I still want to share my thoughts on the Metroid series for how it has its focus on horror. Now I'm going to share it with you all right here, right now. So without further ado, let's begin the video, shall we? So let's begin this segment with the game that started it all, Metroid. This timeless classic was the first to bring our beautiful and sexy hero into the world of video game. Now there's honestly nothing scary about this game to any degree. Yeah, there are some atmospheric creatures trying to bite your ass, but it's nothing to write home about. But the one thing why this game is in here is that I introduced one thing that has been in almost every Metroid game since its debut. The dreaded escape countdown. This countdown here is the first of the horror elements that Metroid brings into the game. That is tension. You feel the rush in you trying to run and climb to escape the planet before it explodes. Once you make it out, the payoff is satisfying. Or you be a dumbass and just die. You may think that Metroid isn't scary, but just you wait! We have more to cover here. Next! Now this is a sequel to the timeless classic of Metroid, now on a far superior consoles, well for its time. Ladies and gentlemen, Super Metroid! Oh yeah, things are going to be interesting from here on out. So Super Metroid was released in 1994, and with the SNES's advanced hardware, there is a lot of detail and story in this game that makes the games look scary. In the game, Samus goes to different planets, and when she gets there, this is where things go dark. In some levels, it will get dark and the atmosphere increases. You get a sense of isolation, that you feel all alone in some place. That is until you see dead bodies! Yeah, you find yourself in a lab with the scientists who are obviously dead. There, you come across a little Metroid who is all alone. Once you try to grab it, wait, what's that? Oh shit! Really pops out and gives you a fight, and this is where things get intense. Once again, bringing back the tension into play, but when you manage to beat him, it's satisfying. You think it is the only time this crap is going to happen, right? You thought wrong! Let me introduce you to one of the bosses of the game, Crocomire. Now this boss is intimidating, but at least not as intimidating as a hobo with a gun. Huh? Anyways, Crocomire is a beast, and he's not kidding, but once you drain his health, he falls into lava and you will see this.
I think I just shit myself.
You actually burn his skin alive. This is the next part of Metroid's horror elements, gore, which allows you to trash and burn any creatures into pieces. I'm not kidding. Was this game rated for kids before the ESRB was a thing? Anyways, let's move on. Now there's a lot more creepy elements that are put into Super Metroid, like the rising lava where you need to run fast, otherwise you're dead, the Metroid popping out to suck your energy, the sense of loneliness when you actually travel to the next level alone, the gross looking appearance of Phantoon, the massive hive Mother Brain herself and her giant laser eyes, and of course ends it with the freaking countdown. I'm starting to think that God hates Samus. Oh yeah, did I also forget to mention the creepy ass soundtrack? So, to be clear, Super Metroid offers isolation, atmosphere, gore, and tension in this game where it actually puts you on your toes. This also adds to how detailed the graphics in the game is thanks to the SNES hardware as stated before. But now that we're done covering the 2D games, at least for now, let's talk about the 3D game. So now here we are in the first game in the Metroid series to be fully 3D, well in first person for that matter. Ladies and gentlemen, Metroid Prime! Oh yes, we are going there. Metroid Prime was created not by Nintendo, but instead a group known as Retro Studios, the same guys who made the Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze. Believe it or not, these guys don't f around with the Prime trilogy. Anyways, let's begin with the game and how ambitious it was at the time of its release. Instead of a 2D side-scroller, we actually play a first-person shooter. That is also accompanied by moving Samus's blaster like a goddamn vibrator, and with that comes one of the awesome mechanics in the game, the visor system. Now that's awesome and fun, or at least I would say that if I didn't suck at first person. Yes, I know I suck at them, f off. Okay, so at Metroid Prime, you play as Samus, obviously, as you explore the space station, then later come across a planet known as Talon 4. Why the f is it called Talon 4? I
don't know.
Anyways, you may think that things are calm and relaxing, but remember the title of the video? You later come to realize that you feel alone on this planet, but right now when you step into unwarranted territory, you are freaking ambushed by space pirates. These guys pull no punches and are going to swarm you all over until you shoot them down. It also doesn't help that your first person view, and with the awesomeness that is the visor system, it just adds a whole new level of tension and anxiety. Metroid Prime likes to play around with how alone you are in this dark atmosphere, only to blast you in the back with enemies all over your ass. And did I forget to mention the music? This fits the game and its atmosphere so well, and I can see why. Metroid Prime was a very ambitious game for its time, and it still holds up to this day. So I think it's alright to say that this game does not need a sequel. Fuck! Now here's a sequel that people were hyped about back then. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes was a sequel to Metroid Prime, and like its first game, it gained positive reviews from both fans and critics. People were in love with this game, both mentally and physically. Assuming you're not a masochist. Anyways, in this game, Samus is sent by the Federation to locate the other soldiers who went missing. And here's where things get creepy. See, in her arrival after escaping from a thunderstorm, let's just say we see some
More dead bodies!
Yeah, I'm not kidding. And to make matters worse, the Galactic Federation have now turned into zombies that want to kill you. How in the fuck are they alive, you're wondering? It is because of these creatures known as the Ing. What in the fuck? Basically, the Ing can actually have the ability to bring back dead creatures to life and possess their bodies under their control. So what did the Ing do to the Galactic Federation? Does that answer your question? Seriously, it is beyond up after witnessing that for the first time. It just shows that throughout those cutscenes alone, you will have the drive of anxiety once you come across those monsters, which adds another point to the list. And to make things even more interesting in a scary sense, as you pass by the planet of Ether, you will come across the Dark Ether area. So what's so scary about it? Well, how about the fact that when you explore the Dark Ether atmosphere, and if you do as much as breathe or even sniff the air like it's freaking cocaine, you will take damage. Metroid Prime 2 is no joke. It's been considered to be the darkest of the Metroid games by many fans out there, and I can see why. The game plays with the fear of possession, isolation, and creepy and dangerous atmosphere to boot. This game makes Doom 2016 look like a pussy game. But hey, that's just me. Anyways, let's end this Prime BS with the last game of the trilogy. Who knows? It might be scary just like the rest. This game is not scary. Okay, now that we covered the 3D games, at least to my knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to cover the last two Metroid games, and shockingly, they're Game Boy Advance games. Oh yeah, I'm not kidding. We are going there. Now this is my opinion, and I'm sure people may or may not agree with me, but I feel like the Game Boy Advance games of Metroid are much more scarier than the 3D games. At least for now. Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Anyways, what was I? So here we are in Metroid Fusion, Samus's very first game on the Game Boy Advance. In Metroid Fusion, Samus along with the Federation find a weird alien species known as X. Aw, they look harmless. Okay, moving on. So, having Samus paralyzed by the X, she was given a vaccine that allows her to protect herself from the X parasites, which also heal her during gameplay. Thank God, because I almost shit myself. So, what's so scary about Metroid Fusion? Is that even a question? First off, there's the atmosphere. The cold areas and dark locations makes it feel once again that you're in isolation. Next is the bosses. The bosses look very good in terms of detail, which as a result makes it look terrifying. Of course, we have Ridley and his ear-raping scream, the weird-looking elephant bird, the grotesque ooze of the nightmare and his face looking greenishly gross, the massiveness of the Omega Metroid, and many more. These bosses look intimidating to some degree, and they put up a challenge to make sure that you're dead. The music in this game is also something to be feared, and just take a listen. You think that's frightening? You haven't seen anything yet, because the real king of this game comes in, and let's just say things are gonna be frightening from here on out. Remember earlier in the story when Samus was paralyzed by the X-Pricks? Well, let's just say that the parasites not only try to kill her, but also absorb her body into making a copy, and what happened after that? This horrible monster was born. This deadly monster is nothing more than the SAX. This thing has Samus's abilities and appearance, which makes it a match for Samus. But what's very scary about SAX is that you can't beat the SAX normally like how you do with the other enemies. So your only option is to avoid it at all costs. But this motherfucker is always, and I mean always, on your tail, and it's freaking heart pounding, especially when it's walking down the highways trying to find you in those creepy footsteps.
Good luck sleeping tonight.
Metroid Fusion has it all: anxiety, isolation, atmosphere, tension, and the fear of the unknown. Mad props to Nintendo for putting a lot of effort into making this game.
I love it.
This is a game worth playing no matter if you're a Metroid fan or new to the series. Now I'm sure I'm willing to give it a chance while I have the opportunity. No way in hell I'm bitching out of this one. Well, here's our last stop of the Metroid game that I think has some horror elements in it. Metroid Zero Mission. If you haven't played this game, like me, here's what you need to know. See, Zero Metroid is actually an enhanced remake of the original Metroid on the NES, but with better graphics! So Metroid Zero Mission is another Game Boy Advance game that has enhanced graphics from the old NES game, but this game adds a new story after beating Mother Brain. See, after beating Mother Brain down to the point where she no longer needs eye surgery, Samus leaves planet Zebes, but then gets attacked by and gets back to Zebes while on an alien mothership of the space pirates. Now what's scary about this game, mainly in the news story, is that you are all alone in a space pirate ship. The main issue is that both her ship and her power suit are both destroyed! So instead, Samus has to travel the mothership without her suit and shoot space pirates. However, it's best to keep a low profile and not be seen by any space pirates, because if you do, you have to run the f away from them cause you can't kill them without your suit. You can shoot their asses down as they can be frozen for a very short time, but it's not enough for the space pirates to stop following you until you find a dark corner. This returns the level of anxiety of being scared of getting caught by the pirates, and also brings a level of tension in this game to get your heart pumping in fear. And of course, dare I forget to mention the music? This game may be tame in some areas, especially if you're a Metroid veteran, but for newcomers, it can be intense to some people after having their pants full of shit. But once you finally get your suit back as well as your abilities, it's motherfucking payback, bitch! You feel the power of confidence after getting your suit back and shooting down a space pirates, making a freaking bloodbath. You may think that you're free until you see this.
Oh my goodness!
Meet Mecha Ridley, a giant-ass robot version of Ridley after dealing with his ass earlier on in the game. But he's back, metal and all, with an intimidating appearance, with an addition of throwing many new attacks, and of course he has a goddamn hunchback. But with the power suit at your disposal, that won't be an issue. That is, until... Oh god damn it! The countdown begins to start and Samus runs. This brings back the anxiety and tension into play with the player having to escape. But when you are good at the game, you'll be alive and well knowing that you conquer everything fearful, which shows that you are not only confident but brave for what you have accomplished. It makes you feel like you overcome your fears and feel a connection between the game and you. Not just in Metroid Zero Mission, but in almost all Metroid games. Except for these two. Well, now that you guys have finally had your Metroid lesson and horror scares, I'm not sorry. But now I think it's time for us to close this off. Now I know I'm going to get a lot of people commenting saying why I didn't cover other things Metroid, like Metroid 2, Samus Returns, Metroid Other M, the Metroid manga, Metroid Samus Bikini Luxury, the list goes on and on. Well, to put it in simple terms, I didn't find those games scary. Now don't get me wrong, Metroid has some horror elements in it no matter how you feel, but it's still an action-adventure Metroidvania series, shooting down aliens and having fun kicking ass. It's a great franchise about a girl shooting the crap out of aliens, ending up becoming one of Nintendo's best video game IPs in its library. Some people may not like the games, and that's fine. I respect your opinion. Metroid will always be here to bring the horror, tension, and action into the plate, and with the newly released Metroid Dread finally out, I think it's safe to say this franchise is going strong and won't be gone anytime soon. Here's hoping Metroid Prime 4 will be good once we have more news about it in the future. Well, that's all from me, guys. Thank you all for watching my video. If you guys enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. You guys are the best, take care, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Have a nice day, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Halloween to all of you out there. Now, if you excuse me, egg pawns, front and center! Get your guns ready. We're not going to let those trick-or-treaters put toilet paper on our base. Woo!